Hello, UW alumni and friends. Keener Fry here. Welcome back to the Cowboy Alumni Pregame Pep Talk series with this week's edition brought to you by UWAA Federal Credit Union, Premier Bone and Joint Centers, Cowboy State Daily, and Laramie GM Auto Center, featuring Cowboys standout Marcus Harris. This Saturday, November 6th, the Cowboys host the Colorado State Rams in the 113th game in this historic Border War series. The Cowboys are coming off of a 27-21 loss against San Jose State and have a record of 4-4. The Rams are coming off of a loss against Boise State, 28-19, and enter the game with a 3-5 record. The Rams lead the all-time series with 59 wins to 49 losses, and there have been 5 ties between the Cowboys and the Rams. I am excited for Marcus to share his experience as a Wyoming Cowboy. Marcus became the greatest receiver in NCAA history during his career from 1993 to 1996. He set records for the most yards receiving, 4,518, and the most 100-yard receiving games of 24 in his career. He also was the first receiver in NCAA history to amass 1,400 yards receiving in each of his 3 seasons playing. For his performance, Marcus was named the recipient of the 1996 Biletnikoff Award, signifying the top receiver in the country. Welcome, Marcus.
Cowboy Nation, Marcus Harris here. I started at the University of Wyoming in 1993 and had my first round end in 1996, where I was an elementary education major, but I took a rather decent break and went back and finished my degree in 2015 with a social science degree. The season I played was 93 to 96, and I played special teams, but my main position at the university was wide receiver. I was drafted by Detroit and had a cup of coffee with them. Then I played in Canada and arena balls and indoor leagues, and I did that for 2, 3, 4 years. So now I'm a supervisor of a grounds crew at a private school called Breck, and I also coach 3 sports. I'm a football coach, girls basketball, and softball. Well, I'll start with my first memory of personal. That last home game, senior year, I had a catch along the visiting team sideline, and I had caught a cramp in my calves going out for the play. I was just like, I hope Josh is not looking at me. And sure enough, he's looking at me. So made this catch, and the guy took me down. But as I stood up, the fans on what would be the west side of the stadium stood up and gave me a standing ovation. And as I got across the field to our sideline, those fans also joined them and gave me a standing ovation, but not just me, but the team and its effort. But it was just such a key moment for me to realize that these fans really care, and they come a long way to see us, and they appreciate the hard work we had put in and the product we put on the field for them. The second one is obviously the 96-yard drive at CSU in 96. It was special then, and it still continues to be something of a legend to this day. I simply think that the rigors of balancing the student athlete point, practices, where to find time to be a decent student. I wouldn't say I was a good student until my second round in, but it helps you balance everything. You have to find time to be who you are with being told who to be and where to be. So it's a fine balancing act that I think has helped me immensely in life. I could keep it 100 with people. I could put it right in your face, but find a way to do it professionally and be kind about it. And just those rigors have helped me with my schedule here, working with, I call them student athletes here as well, but the athletes that I get to coach, it's the same deal. And so it's helped me with that. But as I look back and was thinking about this interview, all the friends that I hold dear today are from this game of football, the greatest game ever created, really. And my friendships, my closest ones have formed around this sport. So that's always been special. There's a lot of memories about Coach Tiller. It would take a long time to go through some of them, but one of the biggest things I think taught me how to adapt your program to your players. I got to witness him evolve as a coach from being just this hardcore do it my way guy to maybe we should do it this way, or from, playing tag for conditioning to saying, coaches, it's 6 o'clock, go home to your family. So I watched an evolution of him and the way that he created a freedom and just a harmony among the team. It went from, 3 years of it's my way or the highway to, what, we're going to work with what we have. And so I'd learned a valuable lesson there with you could create for your teams and make something work with what you have to work with. So just him evolving as a coach and going on to so much great success at Purdue. It's probably weird for me to say that I was proud of him, but being one of his students, but I was very proud of what he was able to accomplish and represent for a team like ours who people questioned if we could play bigger conferences and bigger teams. And he took our show to the Big Ten and showed them that he had what it took to get things done. So I've always appreciated Coach Tiller and just a great man. And like I said, it could take hours to talk all about Tiller, but that's one thing I picked up from him. I will tell you about that bronze boot is I know the history of it. I know the history of where the boot came from. I know all about how they get it back and forth between Fort Collins and Laramie. But if you want to hear something really interesting, I never, ever touched that boot. The big honor for me was beating them our senior year. What happened was we were getting whooped by CSU late into the fourth quarter. So the boot was on their sideline. All the shirts for the Pacific Division champion was on their sidelines. All the hats were on their sideline. So when we came back and beat them, they didn't have anything prepared. It was all on their sideline. It took 2 or 3 days to get all that stuff back to Laramie where it belonged. So I didn't get to touch that boot, but if there is something unique about it, it's that because they were up, everyone assumed that we didn't have what it took to come back. And that made it even more special that we didn't get to put our hands on that boot right then. And some people did, I think. I think the boot did probably go home with us, but I was in such, awe of the comeback and, what we shared as a group and finally beating them after my whole career there. So I never did see the boot, but they had it all stored on their sideline. So a little surprise for them. Hey, if you need anything else to get hyped up for this game, then you are in the wrong place. This is the oldest rivalry west of the Mississippi, and it is something to be truly fired up for. That bronze boot, to get to have that with you for the year and bragging rights. And I would just encourage you to simply play for the guy next to you. When you need that energy, look across to your brother on the field with you and dig deep and give everything you have for that time that you're on the field. Because this game is short and you don't know when it's going to be that last play. So give it everything you've got, especially today against these CSU gentlemen, and send them home on that long bus ride feeling a little bit down.
Thank you, Marcus. The UWAA wants to celebrate with you wherever you are watching the Cowboys play. Take a photo or video of your Cowboy football celebration and tag the UW Alumni Association. The game will be played on Saturday, November 6th at 1:30 p.m. Mountain Time in Laramie and broadcast live on CBS Sports Network. You may also listen to the game on your local Wyoming radio station on the Cowboy Sports Network. Now let's get that Cowboy spirit going by singing along with us to Ragtime Cowboy Jeff.
He always sings rag music to the Cadillac swing. Back and forward in the saddle on a horse, pretty horse. Gotta sing the pretty gator and you ought to hear the beat to the roar. There's a beat how it runs, yes, right. When they hear he's coming, cause the Western folks all know he's a